Alrighty, I believe that are online. Good evening, Speed Gaming 3. We are here with Game 2 of Magius and SirLinkalot here in the Speed Gaming Live Final Fantasy Mystic Quest Randomizer Tournament. My name is Wout, and joining me in the booth tonight, we've got Giga Otomia. How you doing, Giga?
Hello, everyone. I'm doing pretty all right.
Yeah,
How about
so,
you, Woat?
I am feeling pretty good. So, we are doing some pretty basic flags tonight, but if this is your first time checking out a Final Fantasy Mystic Quest randomizer race, we're glad to have you. Hopefully you know a little bit about this game, because otherwise this is probably going to be really confusing. And if you do know about this game, it's still going to be confusing, because we've changed a good bit, actually, for being such a young randomizer.
Yeah. Uh, Mainly, each of the red boxes, which normally have an item in them, can have any of the key items. That is, armor, weapons, spells, and the inventory items that you don't normally get to use.
Yep. I believe we also include battlefields that normally give cough those things up, and NPCs who hand over some of them.
That is
Um,
correct.
Yeah. So basically, these two runners are going to be on a massive scavenger hunt. The victory condition for Final Fantasy Mystic Quest Randomizer is you just need to be able to get to the final boss. So
Mhm.
our go mode is based on the ability to get to Windia, get on Mac's ship, get Mac to let you use the ship, and get into the final dungeon. And we'll get into all of that as things go.
We will.
But yeah, the long and short of it is we are looking for about what, 8 things by
6 to 8,
logic.
depending on context.
Yeah. And yeah, we'll probably touch on that a little bit, but that being said, otherwise it's going to be pretty interesting. We're going to be doing a lot of running around at first, trying to kind of build up to get a powerful ally as quickly as we can. A lot of the early game of this randomizer revolves around trying to get yourself a traveling companion who can take care of all of the things while you are weak, spindly, and probably dead on the ground. Um, Unless you like it some armor early, or you find like a really good spell to be able to contribute. But in any case, we have a 15-minute delay going, and I believe we are about 40 seconds off from seeing these two runners start actually running.
Good armor,
And
level 18 or better, PB2, Excalibur, and Dragon's Claw. Uh,
yeah,
You've got most of it. We also need the captain's cap to to make Captain Mac give us control over the ship. We need Thunder Rock to be able to free the ship from its cliffside prison.
the mega grenades to
Mag
actually
grenades,
blow up the dam
right?
to free the ship. The Mobius crest to reach the ship.
Correct.
Um, yeah, and that pretty much covers it. And like I said, the sky coin to actually open the door.
Hmm.
But yeah, as far as sort of the soft goals, where like how strong your character needs to be to make Dark King winnable.
We're going.
Yeah. All right. So right off the bat,
I'll
we are
take the
getting
right.
that Dragon's Claw. Dragon's Claw is the strongest of the claw type weapons, and as a result, and necessary to get into the final dungeon. So we already have some good power to start out, and a steel shield for our trouble. Okay, there we go.
This is all pretty standard so far.
Yeah. So all the companions are located in their original location in Vanilla. So Kaylee's at her house, Tristram is here in Sand Temple, Phoebe is in the Libra Temple, and Ruben's at his house.
Haley does
Um,
still need the tree wither in order to actually recruit her, though.
yeah, that is very true. As far as sort of the upgraded forms of the companion characters, essentially you have to trigger an item handover from each of them in order to be able to access their created forms, what we lovingly refer to as their name 2. So
Right.
Tristan 2, in this case, requires us to go into Bone Dungeon and run up to the door where he hands us the bombs normally.
Mhm.
With that being said, the secondary characters are found in various places, and we'll touch on that as we find them. But for now, all we have is Tristram, unless we get a Tree Wither out of this battleground, which is the battleground that normally gives us, I believe, the Charm in vanilla?
Correct. And
Yeah.
the Tree Wither is possible to get out of this battleground, but not very likely.
Yeah, the real problem is you probably don't even want you don't want to turn it in. Because then you can't get Tristram 1 back, I believe.
You can get Tristram 1 back, you just have to go back into the Sand Temple
Okay, I didn't
and
realize
talk to
that.
him again. The reason you wouldn't be able to get Tristram 1 back is if you've already gotten the check from the bomb location. That's the river coin.
Ooh, that is very handy. Fireberg being where you recruit both Reuben and Tristram 2.
You go
and
there
Reuben.
through the river coin door.
Yeah. So we're still going to go ahead and do this check here in the temple, or in the Bone Dungeon. We're going to go ahead and find out what Tristram has in store for us, because that'll actually unlock Tristram 2.
Mhm.
Like you said. But yeah.
Normally,
Go ahead.
Normally you would get the bombs here, and then you would go back and Sand Coin, all right. You would go back and you saw that pile of bones. You can bomb that. There's a check up there. That one on Magus' side.
Yep. But for tonight we do not have the bombs, which makes Bone Dungeon a really interesting location, because we've already seen that a couple of times this tournament. When bombs are a little bit delayed, you can wind up in a situation where you might put Bone Dungeon off for a while. SirLinkalot opting to stop and get some extra cash because that is a one-fight battleground.
Mm-hmm. Battlegrounds can have 3 different rewards from clearing them. They can have experience, money, or an item check. And with the tournament settings, battlegrounds are not randomized. But you can randomize them.
Yeah.
Flare, which both players got just now, is it's the best spell in the game, provided you don't have an enemy that's weak to fire. Or strong against fire. Resistant to fire, sorry.
Yeah. And quick question, chat. You actually need the tier 3 grenades in order to access the final dungeon. Tier 2 can't be thrown, and you need throwable grenades, which is only tier 3. So the mega grenades are what we need for go mode, and nothing else will suffice.
In addition, we also need the Dragon Claw, which both players have. They got it very early. But you cannot use any other claw either, because the Dragon Claw is the only one that has the grappling hook ability. Yeah. They all climb climbable walls, but the Dragon Claw is the only one that can...
Yeah. What you may have been thinking of is the sword. Any sword will suffice for the ice floor in the final dungeon. And that it doesn't matter if you have the Steel, the Noble, or the Excalibur. As long as you have something you can poke, that's all you need. So, yeah. Linkalot stopping again to do a quick battlefield. Going to go ahead and get a little bit of extra money, because we do have this merchant here in Aquaria who always does this. And there are our tier 2 bombs, the jumbo bombs. So that opens up several checks that Linkalot may be inclined to pursue.
Notably, the Bone Dungeon.
Very true.
What is it? At least 3?
Yeah. Now, he may hold off on Bone Dungeon, since we do have that Fireberg access. And Bone Dungeon's a lot easier to deal with when you've got, say, Reuben with you.
I don't think Magus had enough money for the bombs.
No, he didn't, because SirLinkalot did those 2 extra battlefields to raise the funds, and Magius is kind of beelining checks. He knows the bombs are there, though, now.
Right.
Yeah, and I see why you're saying that, because I checked Magius' side instead of SirLinkalot's side with the bomb pickup. We're also
and
doing our own tracking here.
we are, and I've got the right side guaranteed, but I'm doing both as much as I can.
All right, well, I appreciate it. Yeah, I got a little bit mixed up on my directions there. My bad. Anyway, Linkalot gonna go ahead and get into this fight. But yeah, unfortunately, we do not have the ability to shrug on command, Captain SNES.
That's in the works.
It's in the works. There have been numerous discussions about the ability to shrug somehow being reintegrated into the game. So yeah. So.
If only we could activate cutscenes on command. Venus key.
Yeah, there's the Venus key. So the Venus key actually gets an expanded role in this one. So as you probably may have already deduced if you're familiar with the vanilla game, the forced removal of party members, with the exception of Kaylee 1, has more or less been removed from the game, and several other cutscenes also no longer exist. Among those is Tristram 2 giving us the Dragon Claw. So to replace that, we now have a chest next to Spencer that is locked with the Venus key.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously there's also the key that the chest the Venus key normally opens in vanilla.
Which is in the focus tower, which you get to by using the wake water in this randomizer.
Unless you cheat.
Unless you cheat. But why would you cheat in a tournament?
What we mean by that is there is a very specific sequence break you can do that neither runner has any of the components to do except for access to Fireberg. So we are unlikely to see that in this particular race. I'm also seeing some comments in chat from folks who are excited to give this randomizer a go, and just as a reminder, everyone is welcome to give this a shot. Like, this RPG was designed to be beginner friendly in the first place, and the fact that we do have like whatchamacallit.
I interrupt you for a second, Woat?
Go ahead.
They're asking for the volume to be turned up.
We'll see what we can do on that front. But yeah. What I was saying though is
We've got a ramp divergence here.
We do. Mage is heading over to Fireberg, while Linkalot is heading into Wintry Cave here. But yeah, as I was trying to say beforehand, so we do have a Discord, we do have a website you could go to, ffmqrando.net, and that's everything you need to get going except for a copy of the game that you definitely need to legally possess the rights to use. Yeah. But anyway, we are going to go ahead and see Magius recruiting probably Ruben, although he's going to go ahead and get an item from Tristram 2.
He's grabbing Tristram 2 first for some reason.
I mean, you know, some people like to live on the wild side.
Must have been just an accident.
I mean, you want to sometimes give Tristram 2 some exercise. Did he stop and check that multi-key door?
No, he didn't.
Okay. That's an interesting call, but we'll see how it plays out.
He'll go for it later, I'm sure.
Yeah. Maybe thinking I'll wait until I have, the Mobius crest and just check that on my way through. No, we'll see what happens. But yeah, so SirLinkalot in the meantime, gonna go ahead, cut through here and get us on the way to also being in Fireberg. So there are 2 battlefields in this area that do have key items on them, as well as several that some runners absolutely favor for monetary purposes. There's a 900 GP battlefield and a 1200 GP battlefield.
Speaking of monetary purposes, we've got Wake Water in the shop.
Ooh. Yeah, that is something you may... I don't think Linkalot's likely to immediately turn around and go check that, but that may keep him from heading back to Bone Dungeon anytime soon. Because that's 3 checks between the battlefield and the 2 chests in the back of Focus Tower. Mageius, meanwhile, is going to check our other item battlefield south of the mine. And I think I saw on the way in... Ooh, that exit is huge. Mageius is going to miss that. But I think I saw there was like one fight in that battlefield just north of Focus Tower that has an item. I didn't see if Mageius picked it up on the way in, but Linkalot...
It was one fight, and they did both get it. I don't recall what it was. It wasn't important enough to track.
I don't think they did. Linkalot ran across it, looked at it, and kept moving. And I don't think I saw Mageius stop and do that either. But,
if I recall correctly, Mageius did go back for it.
Alright.
Well, but again, I didn't see what
Knight's Sword highlighted over there. Where do you pick that up from?
It might have been the Night Sword.
Okay, well, good eye. So yeah, this is an interesting situation at the moment. All right, yeah, chat's saying that the battle gave a sword, so Linkalot gonna be very happy to pick that up when he gets around to it, and I believe I did see him. Yeah, he's going back for it now. So this will confirm it real quick.
Of course, Ruben is poisoned, as is his natural state. It was the Night Sword.
All right. Good catch on your part, Giga. You did it so automatically you didn't even know you did it.
I'm not paying attention to remember things. I'm just paying attention to track.
You look at picture and you click button match picture.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So there is the magic mirror. So we'll see what these two runners opt to do from here.
Mageius has exit now.
Mageius does have exit. So both of these runners, well, Mageius will have it once he goes up to Lava Dome. But Linkalot now has everything you need to do the Ice Pyramid. Ooh, and that Sun Coin means we can go ahead and grab Phoebe too. Yeah, so we have everything we need to do Ice Pyramid. We have everything we need to do Bone Dungeon.
We have full access to the entirety of the continents of the world.
Yeah, we don't really have what we want for Lava Dome. Because Lava Dome has two checks that are locked by the Mega Grenades. And also, it is probably the most divisive dungeon in the game, among the community. So, we're probably not going to see either of them go into Lava Dome. We may see Mageius climb Volcano after grabbing that magic mirror. But, Linkalot? Okay, Linkalot going to go ahead and go at least look at Ruben's dad to unlock Ruben 2. Which, what I've seen Ruben 2 have the Mega Grenades, so if you have the ability to do 2 out of 3, it's not the worst call in the world to go ahead and do it.
Unfortunately, he uses a heal potion on Benjamin when he didn't need to. The game doesn't prevent you from doing something like that.
Oh no! Heal potions!
Oh no, they're so important!
For folks who don't normally watch this game, you get way more heal potions than you will ever use. Way too many heal potions. Like, I have to assume, because we shuffle the brown box contents, but we don't randomize it. So, as many heal potions as we see in these races, that's just how many heal potions are in this stupid game. They just assumed you were going to be patching yourself up a lot.
They did, but also heal potions do cure every single status effect in the game, other than death, which is a status effect.
Yeah. But, you know, you generally have life for that, and what are the chances that your good characters who actually have life all the time are going to go down?
It depends on the context, really. But typically they don't go down.
Yeah, I mean, granted, right now Ruben on Mageius' side is paralyzed and just getting absolutely walloped, but that's neither here nor there. We do get a battle axe from Ruben, so...
That unlocks Ruben 2.
That does unlock Ruben 2, and that is a very solid weapon, just in general. That's going to hit hard.
For what it's worth, I think the Dragon Claw is more powerful, if I remember correctly.
I think the axe line gets enough of a boost to damage to outpace for the battle axe to even outpace the Dragon Claw.
Let me go confirm that, actually.
Okay. But yeah, so in the meantime, Linkalot is going to go ahead. He swapped out Tristram to remove Ruben from his party because you cannot recruit the second tier of a character until you have removed the first tier from your party in some way. Usually by talking to someone, by recruiting a second companion.
Right, because the existence of a character depends on whether they are in your party or not.
Yeah, so fortunately with the Firebird Shuffle, you know, having Tristram 2 and Ruben in the same town make it really easy. You might see something similar in Windia if the dice land in your favor and you have Kaylee 2 and Phoebe 2 available, where someone will tag out for Kaylee to tag Phoebe in.
I don't know why they would. Kaylee's best girl.
I mean, we haven't really touched on like the advantages and disadvantages of the companions yet. But the long and short of it is, Ruben's decent. Kaylee is very helpful in certain circumstances. Phoebe is fantastic in almost all circumstances, and Tristram is useless. There you go. There is your rundown. So, what do we know about the Dragon Claw?
The Dragon Claw has more damage than the Battle Axe. I did confirm it.
Okay.
And it inflicts every status effect in the game, except for death.
Alright. Well, two things. First of all, howdy everyone coming over from SpeedGaming.
Hello.
You are here about 20 minutes into a Final Fantasy Mystic Quest randomizer race. It has gotten off to a bit of a slow start, I feel like. But both runners are making their way through, and we are here to answer any questions you might have about what's going on here. All you need to know is the key items and equipment and spells have all been shuffled amongst themselves. Our goal is to get to Dark King and beat the ever-loving crap out of him.
Mm-hmm.
But in a secondary question, are you allowed to use life to kill enemies in these races? Absolutely. And
Absolutely.
Everyone enjoys doing that. The hard part is actually having life. We do get a moon hill, so...
The second hard part is figuring out which enemies are weak to life.
Oh, look at that! Captain SNES saying you have to cure him to death. Well, the Wildham, the developer, took that out like first thing. That bug is fixed in this game. We can't even turn it back on.
There are no more damage underflow glitches.
We actually have to kill Dark King legitimately, and Dark King legitimately is not an easy fight. Linkalot, I think, making a minor
routing mistake.
Yeah, minor routing mistake. We're wanting to go through the Sun Coin door and instead going back over to Aquaria. I mean, honestly, knowing Wildham, that feels like something he might have fixed.
What
I mean,
does?
yeah.
Sorry.
Just in chat, a comment about how before there was a rando, there was a fix to that bug. Knowing how Wildham operates, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, even before he started working on the rando, he figured out how to fix that. Just as part of learning how the game worked under the hood.
I'm not sure exactly how easy it would be to fix the underflow bug.
Well, I'll just say, go ahead.
I don't really know that much about SNES ASM. I just reverse engineered the game.
Well, yeah. So it's one of those things, though. But kind of jumping back to the cure thing on Dark King. Yeah, hitting him hard with cure is awesome. But you know what's more awesome? Actually having to deal with a final boss that puts up a fight. And oh god, Dark King puts up a fight when you can't just cheese him.
Yeah. I did say this in the last Well, I
ahead.
said this through a proxy in the last race that I tracked on, but the Dark King's attacks, they don't depend on his stats at all. They just do flat damage, minus your defense.
Yeah, and we do have some stat scaling going on in this randomizer. Specifically with the flags we're using, all enemies are reduced to 75% of their base stats by default, and then those stats can then vary by 50% in either direction. So you can wind up with a Dark King with 125% of his normal health and the same swing of speed. But there are Mega Grenades for Spencer.
I was about to mark the Cat Claw, but then I realized, oh wait, that would undo the Dragon Claw. Let's not do that.
Yep. But yeah, so what were we talking about before we found part of our
Dang,
mode?
I missed what just happened in the Ice Pyramid.
We'll probably see it again on Mage's side. I think it was probably a spell, but Chad will help us out, because Chad is always helpful.
I hope they do.
But yeah, so, alright, we're just talking about Dark King and scaling. So, Dark King can become very fast and very bulky, because all 4 of his phases roll separately for stats.
Is it every stat, or is it just health? Because I remember that being an issue that was brought up previously.
I know at least health is rolled every time. I don't know if... You may be right, and is kept constant between all phases, but it is one of those things where Dark King can become very fast, and it is terrifying. Thank you, Antimatter Magic. That is the Cupid Locket out of that first box in Ice Pyramid.
Yep. Thank you.
Yep. And I believe we got a charm out of that first spot north of
We did.
Libra. So.
This is
All
the mask, the gas mask for the volcano, which we've already done.
Well, Linkalot has. I don't think Mageius went up the volcano.
Again,
So.
I don't remember things.
Yeah, no, he didn't because we don't have a moon helm on Mageius' side, and that was from Medusa. Right. So, and yeah, we do have life. So, because we actually have to fight Dark King, life is actually critical.
Mm-hmm.
It is not required, but I don't think there's a single runner in this community that wants to fight Dark King without life available on Benjamin.
The reason being, Dark King can kill your partner so easily and yourself so easily that and the multitude of status effects that he can inflict, it's just so much easier on everything if you have the ability to cast life, which is broken, notably.
Yep, a full heal, both for HP and statuses, and revives people. And yeah, so that gets into companion selection for the final sprint. Because Phoebe 2 is strong, Phoebe 2 is fast, Phoebe 2 can full heal you with a cure spell. What Phoebe 2 can't do is not be confused or petrified.
Phoebe 2 doesn't have resistances, important resistances. Kaylee does have those resistances.
Yeah, and Dark King, for those not in the know, really likes petrifying, confusing, and that ice golem had no health.
Well, Linkalot had flare, so that kind of exacerbated the issue.
Yeah, but that still was stupid fast, even with flare in hand.
No, that's about what you expect when you have flare. One turn.
Anyway, so we get a sword we don't need for our trouble. You will notice that right now Linkalot has a steel sword. When he swaps weapons again, that will automatically return to being a noble sword. This randomizer does remember the highest tier piece of equipment you have.
The vanilla game remembers the highest tier piece of equipment you have.
Yeah, but there was an issue, I believe, with a previous randomizer of this game where it did downgrade you. Which is why I bring it up.
That's possible, I guess.
Yeah. And yeah,
I believe the
so-
only other randomizer for this game is Abyssinim's one.
Yeah, and I believe Abyssinim's did have an issue where you could get downgraded. But don't quote me on that, but I do know that like it has come up on multiple occasions, like that being an issue. But speaking of things not being issues, there's some Gaia's armor for
I
Linkalot
believe
there in
that's
the Bone
petrification
Dungeon.
resistance mainly.
No, that's the Aegis Shield that does petrification resistance.
Ah, right.
Yeah, I think Gaia's just gives you resistance to all of the damage elements. Like the fire and well, not fire, but like I want to say it's like the you know what
The
I don't
physical
know what
elements.
resistances. Yeah,
There's-
the physical elements.
There's axe, there's shoot, there's bomb, and I think that's it, because otherwise you've just got regular damage, and there's no resistance to regular damage in the game.
Yeah. I mean, it does also give you plenty of that, because that's a lot of health.
It is a lot of defense points.
Yeah.
It's somewhere around 15.
Yeah, no, I think in this case, I want to say Gaia gives you resistance to like some of the baseline elements, so like water or ice or whatever. And I think Apollo is what gives you the fire resistance.
Apollo and Moon Helmet are definitely fire resistance.
Yeah, because Ruben wears those. But yeah, Aegis is definitely what gives you your resistance to petrify. And I want to say Cupid Locket is what gives the confuse resist.
That sounds about right. Cupid Locket, every single accessory from Charm Up gives you silence resistance as well, and silence doesn't work in the vanilla game. Like, it's impossible to inflict silence.
Yeah,
I missed the second chest.
I missed it too. I was looking at it and I didn't even see what it was. But Linkalot will eventually open his menu, or chat will tell us. Because chat is helpful and kind. But in the meantime...
Honestly, I should have just waited to track the...
Well, I
the
mean,
Aegis shield.
Linkalot cleared it really fast. So...
Right, but I probably would have caught it.
Alright, Mouseman saying it was the magic ring, so we don't have to care.
Yep.
Superseded by the Cupid Locket. But yeah, talking about the Aegis Shield, we did get that out of that first box he opened. So...
As for Go mode, the only things that Linkalot has left are the Mobius Crest and Captain's Cap
And Thunder Rock.
Thunder Rock and Skycoin.
And Skycoin. Okay, so we have a lot left, is what you're saying.
Yes. We've got about half of the game left.
Yeah. So Captain's Cap and Skycoin are really... actually, all of these are pretty painful to hunt for, because they literally
can be anywhere.
Yeah, pretty much anywhere, because all four of them lock, like, 3 to 0 things. Like, Skycoin can literally be in the last red chest of the game. Captain's Cap can be literally in the next to last chest in the game.
We got Thunder Rock.
The Thunder Rock can be right there, but it also can be in, like...
Anywhere other than Spencer's place. Well, it can even be in Spencer's place, but anywhere other than Doom Castle
Yeah,
and the ship,
pretty
which
much.
are the last two dungeons.
Yeah, and Mobius Crest can be basically everywhere, anywhere except Max Ship and Doom Castle. So, yeah, and Ace Peace Craft coming in clutch there in chat, letting us know Gaia is Thunder, Wind, Poison, Sleep, and Water Resistance.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Mage is looking like he doesn't have any wizard.
Yeah, I think he, like, Linkalot has been taking advantage of the fact he's done a couple extra battlefields to hit up ends on the way. So he's been kind of keeping his MP up. So that is one thing about this game. When you level up, you do not get any spell slots back. So you very quickly wind up in a position where if you level up a whole bunch, you are like, oh, I'm like level 12 and I have these cool wizard spells, and then realize, oh, I can't
Magus
cast any of my cool wizard spells.
Magus is also just kind of letting Ruben do his own thing, do whatever he wants, and that means Ruben is wasting all of his cure potions
Yeah.
instead
yeah,
of doing anything actually useful.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna get through this, I think. He finally manually controls Ruben to get him out of that heal loop, and is busting out the black magic to kind of make his way through this. But yeah, you can absolutely set your allies on autopilot, and sometimes they do helpful things.
Most of the time, they don't.
Yeah, and
Especially if you've got Ruben.
Yeah.
Ruben really likes those cure potions.
Did Mageius go through the mine?
I think he did, yeah.
Okay, because yeah, he still has Ruben 1.
Neither of them went through the mine after getting Mega Grenades.
Yeah, they still both need to go back to save Ruben's dad, because that is a key item check, and, you know, if you don't check Ruben's dad, he's always going to have the thing you really, really wanted him to have.
But if you do check Ruben's dad first, then luck kind of screws you over.
Oh yeah, no, if you actually, like, go and check Ruben's dad as soon as you can, he's gonna give you, like, I don't know, Quake.
Quake being the absolute worst spell in the game, bar none. It
Giga
has...
and I have had extended conversations about this.
Yeah. I don't need to go into it, I'm sure.
It is Earth Element, though.
It is Earth Element, yes.
What is Earth Element good against?
That's a good question. It's good against basically just sandworms and the dual-head Hydra and twin-head weapon, which SirLinkalot is fighting one of right now.
Yeah, but he's already got bigger guns.
And the reason it's good against the dual-head Hydra and twin-head Wyvern is because they're not resistant to Earth.
So it's not so much good against them.
Not that they're weak to it. Yeah, it's that Flare isn't the best option anymore.
Yeah. But Quake is not necessarily a good option either, because, like, we're seeing...
Quake is worse than every other black magic.
Yeah.
In every situation.
Yeah, because we're seeing SirLinkalot over there busting out Arrow, and that did about as much damage as Flare was doing, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Arrow being the best black magic, just in terms of its base damage potential.
And Wind has a lot of applications. Like, I feel like Wind... Like, I don't know resistances and vulnerabilities as well as I could, but it feels like Wind comes up a lot in the weakness game.
That's because in most of the Wind dungeons, things are weak to Wind. Oh, there's Skycoin.
Well, that's a required lava dome. So, yeah, that's Skycoin. Mandatory to access the final dungeon.
Mm-hmm. Mandatory to access... No, nobody has the Mobius Crest just yet.
Okay. Yeah, so SirLinkalot just double-checking to make sure he didn't miss that man. Hey, I may just confirming that that is the magic ring over there
and
in that left-hand chest. So, yeah, as previously mentioned, we do need to go save Ruben's father in order to be able to check that key item. So, yeah, Mageius at the moment. So kind of bouncing topics a little bit away from the nitty-gritty of Under the Hood.
Mm-hmm.
So Mageius right now is kind of trailing behind SirLinkalot.
Yes.
Both in terms of overall progression, but also there are some things that SirLinkalot's done that Mageius is kind of behind him doing. And when you get into a situation like this, you kind of have to force some divergence. And I think Mageius' problem at the moment is he doesn't have the Sun Coin to force that divergence. Because I think, did we get that from Ruben 1?
I don't recall.
I feel like that has to be the case, because Mageius, heading back through the mines, but speaking of the mines, Ruben's dad did give us that tree wither, so Kaylee 1 is on the table.
I wasn't paying attention. Thank you for that, Woe.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's, you know. So Linkalot gonna go ahead and do this, because Kaylee does give 2 items. The one that she hands you when she gets poisoned by the Minotaur, and then the one that normally she would be her giving you the captain's cap in the Windia Inn. So Linkalot's going to very quickly clear out the level 4, pick up Kaylee 2, go over to Windia,
Suncoin
get
was in
Phoebe 2,
Fireburg.
and go talk to Kaylee 2. What was that?
Suncoin was in Fireburg, apparently.
Alright, thank you, Voxen. Did Magius ever actually go talk to...
It must have been the shop.
No, because shop was Wakewater.
Oh, then...
Did Magius ever go talk to the guy who... to the hermit, the guy behind the multi-key?
I honestly don't recall. He
Well-
has the multi-key. It would make sense that he did.
Well, I remember he skipped it the first time he went through. I don't remember if, like, on his next visit he did. He also didn't talk to Ruben's dad. He talked to Ruben's mom, who, spoiler warning, not actually Ruben's father.
Sorry.
All right, chat saying that it was exit off. Yeah, that's right. It was exit off of the hermit. So,
What's this about not actually Ruben's father? Arian is definitely Ruben's father, to my knowledge.
well, yeah, but anyway. But yeah, so I don't think the Sun Coin was in Fireburg because we didn't get that off of Tristram, and that's all the checks in Fireburg. So we'll have to see. Because yeah, right now Magius, if he doesn't have the Sun Coin, really needs the Sun Coin.
We did find
But-
the Charm Claw here, which is worthless at the moment, but still something good to know.
Yeah, Charm Claw, infamous for not being Dragon Claw, but occasionally fooling the eye into thinking it's Dragon Claw if you look really fast.
I can see how someone would be mistaken if they weren't paying attention.
I have absolutely made that mistake while not paying attention. I have definitely thought that someone picked up a Dragon Claw when they found the Charm Claw. Yeah. Anyway, we do get white off of Kaylee 2, which is really nice.
It is the only spell that has no element tied to it. The only attacking spell, that is. Oh, leave
Alright.
request.
Alright, so quick question, chat. What's Go Mode for this? It's been a bit since we talked about what Go Mode is. So, Go Mode in this randomizer is the ability to get to Dark King. So that means you need a Thunder Rock to create the Rainbow Bridge to get to the cave that Linkalot just walked into. Mega Grenades to blow up the wall that Linkalot just blew up. You need a Mobius Crest to teleport to the ship that he just freed.
Mobius Crest being the one that has the infinity symbol on it.
Right. Or a 2D Mobius strip, if you want to be fancy about it.
That is correct.
Right. You need a Captain's Cap, because the owner of that ship, Captain Mac, is not inclined to let people borrow his boat without proof that they're trustworthy. So, you know, obviously you give the man his own hat back. You need the Dragon Claw, which is a grappling hook, in order to grab a hook in the first room of the final dungeon. You need a sword in order to stab a statue in the face to open up doors on the second floor of the final dungeon. And you need Mega Grenades, again, to blow up some stuff in your way in the final dungeon. And you need a Sky Coin to open a door in the final dungeon. And by logic, you need a Sun Coin to open the door to the area that SirLinkalot is in. So, Go Mode is a lot of things, is the point we're trying to make here.
Yep.
But the nice thing about this randomizer is, outside of needing to fulfill the requirements to the final dungeon, there are no other major restrictions in play. As long as you can get to an area by bypassing obstructions, it's fair play. So, all that being said, Linkalot has several checks he can go do. That Lever Crest opens up the Wakewater check that he's heading toward right now.
Yeah, it's looking like he really doesn't want to do any of the wind dungeons. because mainly they're... Oh, he doesn't have to.
Not
Mainly because
yet.
they're big and long.
Yeah. That Mobius crest and Libra crest together, or Gemini crest, is also handy because there are shortcuts in all 3 towns that aren't named Foresta that let you skip needing to run around on the map like Linkalot is doing. So...
If you have either the Gemini or the Mobius crest, those let you do that.
Yeah.
The Gemini crest lets you go between Aquaria and Fireburg, and the Mobius crest lets you go between Fireburg and Windia.
Yeah. So Linkalot, though, gonna go check Mac's ship.
Mm-hmm. It's not likely, again, that the captain's cap is on here, but it's possible.
Yeah, and if it is, that's going to save him
a lot of time.
Yeah. So we do have several different logic settings. What we are using for this tournament is what we call standard logic. So basically, items required or needed and or required for dungeons can be in those dungeons. So the magic mirror can be an ice pyramid, the mask can be on volcano, and the captain's cap can be on the boat. There is also what we call friendly logic, which says those things cannot be in their respective dungeons. So you know that you do not have to board Mac's ship until you have the cap, and you don't have to go check Mac's ship for the cap. Ah, hey,
Cap is not on Mac's ship, so that's unfortunate.
There's the earth spell people actually use, Meteor.
Yep. The reason being it's stronger than white, but slightly weaker than flare.
Cap has been in friendly for a bit, Peacecraft. Like, I think I went to suggest it, and Wildham said it was already in there. That was a while ago, so I'm not sure when it got added, but I think it was after the other two.
I'm not sure what Magus is doing. He's looking around and probably
I think
not exactly sure where all the red chests are in
Lava Dome,
Lava Dome,
because Lava Dome is big and confusing and the maps are not easy to follow. Yeah, no, Lava Dome, there's a reason people don't like Lava Dome, and that reason is because it's easy to get lost. But we do have a question, chat. Most runners will most runners want BB2 for the final battle? Generally, yes. Especially in this tournament where you are very likely to find all of the good equipment before you get to Doom Castle. That being said, there are runners who will take Ruben 2, and there are runners who will take Kaylee 2. And Kaylee 2 in particular is a very interesting case.
I don't see why runners would want to take Ruben 2, but Kaylee 2 resists petrification, which is the most important thing to resist in that battle.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you are running a seed where, say, you don't have Aegis Shield, and if you're, say, racing and don't have time to go dig out the Aegis Shield, because, say, you're using a full shuffle where any of these brown boxes could actually be a red chest and have a key item in it. That is a scenario where you're going to take Kaylee, where you might take Kaylee 2 instead, so that you don't wind up getting 1-2 Petrify comboed by Dark King.
It'd have to happen over 2 turns, so you do have a chance to react to it.
Assuming that Dark King isn't outspeeding you.
Assuming Dark King isn't outspeeding you, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, is taking Phoebe 2 when you don't have the Aegis Shield is gambling on Dark King not deciding that he wants you to suffer. And Dark King loves to make you suffer, so that's not necessarily an option.
Another under-the-hood thing that can help with Dark King outspeeding you is if you equip a sword, you gain 5 speed. Different weapons in this game have some different bonuses that they give to your stats. All claws give you 5 magic, all swords give you 5 speed, and the bombs and the axes do nothing. There is some misinformation going around that the axes actually give you defense. That is incorrect.
I believe the axes do actually give you strength, which doesn't matter.
No, they don't. No, they don't. They give you absolutely nothing. You can check this if you open the status menu and flip around the weapons yourself.
Yeah, I have, and I'm pretty sure the higher tier axes actually add a little bit of strength for no reason.
The reason that you would go thinking that is because your strength stat depends on what weapon you have equipped. It's directly modified.
Axes are the only weapon that actually changes that number, is what I'm saying.
Not to my recollection. I could be wrong.
I think you might be wrong, but we can check this afterward. If
We
you
can.
want to find out the resolution of this argument, come join us on the Discord. ffmqrando.net has a link to both. It has both the randomizer and a link to our Discord. And did Linkalot find the captain's cap at some point, or
He must have.
Yeah, he must have because he's sailing the boat. All right, so we must have gotten that off of Dullahan while we were arguing about weapons. Yeah. Also, fun fact: it's not every sword that gives you speed. The steel sword doesn't give you a speed bonus.
We're gonna have to test that.
I have tested that. No, I went through for reasons. I went through and was checking leveling progressions on some stuff, and that required me to actually look at menus and whatnot. The steel sword does not do anything to your speed. Or if it does do something to your speed, it's something that that the mega grenades also do to your speed, which seems unlikely because bomb weapons are only helpful for killing things.
Bomb weapons do flat damage, just like the Dark King's attacks.
Yeah, flat damage, and more importantly, can't miss damage.
Right. They function like spells in that can't miss.
Which is very lovely when you're blinded and somehow don't have any heal potions. Somehow.
Not
All right.
likely, but possible.
Yeah, so TNT confirming, or at least seeming to think that we do not have, that we got the captain's cap off of Dullahan.
Thank you, chat.
But yeah, so this is the floor that we needed the sword for because we need to poke these statues in the faces.
Just like in the Ice Pyramid.
Yeah. Yeah, now the Noble Sword and Excalibur do have the speed bonus, but yeah. It makes sense that the Steel Sword doesn't give a speed bonus because it is the vanilla starting weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah. Apropos of nothing. Go ahead.
There's not much hope for mages at this point, in terms of winning the race.
There's a little hope. SirLinkalot's Benjamin is...
SirLinkalot's Benjamin is level 19, which is a little low.
Yeah, like...
Especially if he uses Exit on the Stone Golem here, which he is likely to. Yep,
yeah.
There it is.
So, yeah, so, like, a fast, bulky Dark King could give Linkalot some headaches.
Especially if he doesn't make it to level 22, sorry.
Yeah, you literally were saying what I was about to say. Like, below level 22, like, a fast Dark King can cause some issues. Like, I believe the very first broadcast race of this randomizer, just grabbing that his Sky Coin, I believe the first broadcast race of this randomizer, that straight up happened. Dark King stalled out the person who had the lead most of the seed for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I vividly remember that.
So does Chanigan.
It happened to Chanigan, didn't it?
It happened to Chanigan. So yeah, it is one of those things that Dark King can be the great equalizer in this randomizer. And Mage is still not checking Ruben's dad. We know Kaylee doesn't have anything required for go mode, but that's still not something he wants to be doing.
Here we've got the Twin-Head Wyvern.
Yep.
Who...
You can't exit, so we actually have to fight him legitimately. Yeah, Mage is confirming... Was Suncoin somewhere? No.
Suncoin, I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, we like, obviously we found it.
Yeah.
But I am blanking like Magius on where that Suncoin was.
Could it have been in Aquarius somewhere? Like on a
All right.
battlefield or something?
No, because I think Magius already did the Aquaria battlefields. He did Bone Dungeon.
It wasn't in the Earth continent.
Yeah, and he already cleared out Earth anyway, aside from the Kaylee checks, because he hasn't gotten the Tree Wither from Ruben's dad. and he went and did the mines, so he didn't. So it wasn't on Ruben like I thought. Let's see. We got the moon helm off of Medusa. We got the magic mirror at the foot of Volcano.
Was it the store here?
I don't.
We're about to find out.
No, that was jumbo bombs.
We don't need jumbo bombs.
Right. I don't think Spencer gave it to us, did he?
It's possible.
No, Spencer had mega grenades. And the chest next to Spencer, I don't think had anything of note, but Magius is going to go double check that for us. Linkalot, meanwhile, having to deal with the conga line of battles over here on Wind Floor. Alright, well, there's no chest there now, so...
Which does mean that he's been here before.
Yeah.
And he's already gotten the item off of Spencer, which means it's not on Spencer.
Okay.
Who just made a Final Fantasy 1 joke.
Yeah, hold on. Was it maybe in the bombable wall in mine?
That is also possible, yeah.
I think that's the only place Magius could have missed, because I don't recall seeing him hit that one up.
It does look like SirLinkalot will be, my opinion of ready for the Dark King.
Yeah, level. I agree with your assessment. Level 22 is enough health for Benjamin to survive anything the Dark King can do.
As long as he has at least 800 health, then he's good. But 22 is a fantastic buffer.
Yeah, and plus 22 gives you that little extra bit of speed.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Excuse me. So yeah, I think if I'm not crazy, that might be where the Sun Coin was. It had to have been in that bombable wall in mine. And the fact Magus is going back there makes me think that I might be right.
Yeah, he's probably coming to the same conclusion.
Yeah, because I think
going down the wrong way.
Well, that's probably, if he did miss it, that's probably how he missed it. Because yeah, you do kind of have to know how to get there to get there efficiently. Also, Zuh putting up a heck of a fight on Linkalot's side. That's kind of glanced over, and this is taking a bit.
Zuh probably rolled bulky.
Oh, absolutely, but it worked out. Alright, so Magius not in the right bombable room, but I believe he can get to the right one from here?
No, you would have to go around the north side.
Okay. I get very lost in basically every Firebird dungeon. I'm just going to freely admit that. This is why I don't race the game.
It happens to some people. Not me.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I've got pretty much every dungeon just mentally mapped out. And there's a distinct path that I always take.
Okay. Well, anyway, we can debate that after we get a little bit of music here.
Mm-hmm.
See y'all in phase 2.
Why don't we turn up Linkalot's side? This is a fantastic song. There it is. It was in the mine.
Alright. Then I'll turn down Linkalot a little bit. Not much, but just a little bit. Alright. So yeah, like we said before, all 4 Dark King phases roll their health separately. And Dark King... Yeah, Dark King looking pretty fragile on phases 1 and 2. Phase 3 is where things are going to get dicey. This is where he's going to start potentially throwing out Petrification and Confusion on Phoebe. But the bright side is this is a slow Dark King.
Mage is second-guessing himself. You can't do that this late in the race, but...
And that's why you want health.
He's getting the Apollo home. And yes, this is exactly why you want this much health. Because the Dark King's attacks, not only do they do flat damage, but it's a lot of flat damage.
And unlike in the vanilla game, you're almost always going to be underleveled for Dark King. Especially if, say, even if you have to do Pazuzu, you're getting to a lot less fights.
Right.
But
in the vanilla game, when you fight Dark King, you'd be around level 30, 31-ish, close to Phoebe's level, hopefully.
Yeah. So you don't have as much speed as you would like, and yeah. So this is what a lot of Dark King fights kind of break down to, is you wind up in these holding patterns where you're having to triage your party while continuing to chip away at Dark King when he gives you a chance.
Instead of having the option to just spam flare like you normally do.
Yeah. So you are in a position where, you kind of have to plan your turns very quickly to figure out how you're going to get around Dark King, keep your party on their feet. Because this battle can go south very quickly, but it does not go south for SirLinkalot. That is an official racetime.gg time of 57 minutes and 28 seconds. Get your GGs in chat. And we're going to go ahead and see if he wants to jump in here and chat with us for a bit. Because yeah, we're gonna talk to him a little bit about this. And Magius is gonna continue pressing forward. He's gone to Pazuzu's tower, which is not ideal.
Very much not ideal. I don't think anything was in Pazuzu's tower. Like anything important.
Yeah, I don't think anything could be here. But yeah,
we've already got basically everything except the Excalibur. That must be the last thing in here.
Yeah, and knowing Pazuzu's tower, it's going to literally be the last thing in there.
There are 3 checks. It could be before you actually fight Pazuzu.
Yeah, but it's not. It's going to be behind the Jerkbird. That's how this tower works. Also, hi, Linkalot. GG.
Thank you.
GG.
Yet less than an hour for what was a kind of convoluted seat in a couple of places. Not bad.
Yeah, there was a lot of, hey, go get this from this area and then go back to that area to grab that thing that you own pretty much full cleared already. And just like, this isn't fun. Like, oh, it was fun. It's like, I don't like when they make me do this. Like, when I got Lieber Crest, I was like, oh, cool, I can grab the thing out of the cave, and then, that'll be my go mode. And it's like, nope. It's like, all right. It's like, all right, let's go to Lieber Temple. Maybe something's there. It's a decent chance if there is or not.
Something did happen to be there, didn't there?
Mobius Crest was at Lieber Temple.
Right.
All right. Yeah, no, it's definitely it was definitely a convoluted seed, but I'm trying to think of at the same time it was somewhat linear. So like sorry, all right. Let me start with a simple question. You pick up the Sun Coin, but you stick around in Fireburg. Is that basically just your philosophy tends to veer toward just, knock out an area while you're there in case you can avoid having to come back there?
Typically, especially if I can full clear it, like if I have to leave some things behind and there's more items in a different place, I'll consider a lot more to actually take off when that happens. But, I mean, at the time, I think the only thing I couldn't clear out was Lava Dome, and that's why I didn't even touch Lava Domes. I'm like, I want Mega Grenades, and then I got the Mega Grenades. I was like, all right, let's go clear it out, because our race last night, last location, I think it was Mobius Crest at, it was Mega Grenades at the Twin Head Wyvern. So
that is rude.
So I was just like,
rude.
yeah, I'm gonna go off the assumption that it's required 2 seeds in a row Especially
was.
having cleared as much as I did in what was it? I can't remember the name of it. No, names elude me. It's been a long
Aquaria?
time. Yeah, Aquaria. There we go.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was, and it was required. That was Skycoin at the back of Lava Dome.
Mhm.
But yeah, so with this though, you do win the match with you and Magius and move on to the round of 8. And I'm not sure who your opponent is due to be. Let me go see if I can find that. Gig, if you have any questions, go ahead and fire them off while I'm looking it up.
I don't have any in specific. More just how did it feel?
I mean, it didn't really feel that bad. There wasn't really anything that was like crazy, which I was kind of waiting for Dark King to be fast and just decide it's like, hey, you're about to spend 15 minutes here now because I decide I want you to. But he was slow. Like, I mean, he was annoying, but he was slow. I mean, I was outspeeding him with Benjamin at
Yeah.
21.
All right. Looks like Linkalot, you are going to be facing XX Joker in the round of 8.
Yep, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. So that should be a really solid matchup. Both of y'all definitely showing your stuff so far in this tournament. But yeah, let's see here. Yeah, unfortunately, this is going to be Magius' exit from the tournament.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. He did go ahead and pin down Pazuzu surprisingly quickly. I believe Magius has said he has speedrun vanilla, and pinning Pazuzu down is a critical skill for vanilla, so it makes sense that he was able to kind of quickly go through the tower.
And he's down.
Yeah. Both the Jerkbirds being kind of tough tonight. You don't see that very often.
Yeah, I guess like the only nasty part about this, I mean, I didn't have to fight first Jerkbird because I was like, okay, I've got 3 things to do. It's like 3 things in Pazuzu, Giant Tree, or Mount Gales. It's like, well, Giant Tree is last location because nobody likes Giant Tree. If Giant Tree just was not in the game anymore, I don't think anybody would be sad about it. I'm just I won't be. Or it's just let us have the chest without going and fighting the boss. I'm okay with that too.
Yeah.
But that kind of defeats the purpose then, because then it's a free box almost.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just put the chest on the boss like you did with Medusa.
Or that.
Yeah, but it's more fun to taunt runners with being able to see the box but not open it. No, I'd be sad if Giant Tree was gone, because then I wouldn't be able to laugh at other people having to do Giant Tree.
Okay, that's fair.
That is one
Schadenfreude
aspect of it, yeah.
Is the best kind of Freude. Anyway, but you were saying, Linkalot, sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just like, I kind of was like, all right, to go up Pazuzu's tower, it's going to take me some time. It's like Mount Gale really does not take that long to go and do, especially with exit when you're leaving. It's just like, realistically, it probably takes, especially depending on how monsters end up in Pazuzu's tower. If you get a bunch of monsters on the way climbing up, then to the chests, like, Mount Gale's actually a faster check for the one, and since I only needed the one item, it's just like, yeah, we'll do this single check. And when I pulled Captain's Cap, I was like, all right, cool. I was like, I feel really good. Like I got to skip all of Pazuzu. I got to skip Giant Tree. I made the kind of the right decision with the Libra Crest to immediately go check that to get the Mobius Crest, and other than the fact that led me, it's like, hey, let's gamble on Captain's Cap on. A lazy captain. He just kept his cap in his box, but sadly that didn't happen.
Well, I mean, we've seen that in races before, so it's not the worst plan in the world to do that. And yeah, no, it's one of those things, if it's down to the wind area dungeons, I will never fault anyone for saying, I'm going to go do Mount Gale first.
Mount Gale is thankfully the shortest of the 3.
Yeah.
Plus it unlocks the ability to buy seeds as well. So
Which is very nice. Yeah. God, this Pazuzu is beefy. Like, it almost feels like, I don't know.
It feels like Pazuzu and Za change positions. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Because Za really wasn't that. He didn't feel that chunky. It was just he Doom Danced Phoebe on turn 1 for me. So it took me a couple turns to actually start getting damage down.
Yeah. Plus, he was at least chunkier than anything else you saw in the game. So that also kind of played into it. Zuz is like one of the only bosses that lasted, more than 2 rounds.
Yeah, that too. That's why I was waiting for Dark King to just be a dumpster fire of a fight, because I'm just like, this Seeds, there hasn't been anything nasty yet. I'm just like, Dark King's going to roll 125 on everything. He's going to outspeed Phoebe. He's definitely going to outspeed Benjamin. But then, like, when I got to phase 3 and I see both my characters still outspeeding, I'm just like, oh. So unless I just get really crazy and risky, I probably can't die here.
So
My finger was on the Excalibur button.
Yeah. Pazuzu's tower was a big old womp. Alright, so Magius, not having the tree wither, can't do anything with Kaylee, and I don't think Kaylee had anything that mattered anyway. Ooh, is he going to go do Giant Tree? I don't think
I think he's here for the first time. He's gonna go get the Giant Axe check.
Yeah, he's going to get this. Yeah, I know he's going to get this box down here, but he's done Pazuzu. Okay, yeah, he is going to go ahead and skip out of the Giant Tree. I like that move there. He did a save. He left a save there in case these other checks don't pan out. But yeah, so I'm also just kind of I think I'm out of things to say. I think we've kind of talked about most of what we've seen with the SpeedGaming from your end.
I think we have, yeah.
Yeah. So I can say, looking at the race room, that Magius is probably going to be here a while. We are on a 15-minute delay, and he has not finished yet. So I think in the interests of kind of giving SpeedGaming their channel space back, we may go ahead and move on to final thoughts and direct y'all over to Magius' channel if you want to go cheer him on. He is in emote-only mode, but you can find the link there in chat to go give him some cheers, give him some love.
Mm-hmm.
But Linkalot, you got any other thoughts on the seed?
No, like I said, it really wasn't. I mean, other than the item location was kind of the worst part about it. Just there was a lot of convoluted back and forth between the 4 areas, especially with all the crests being in the end of the game, pretty much. So you couldn't even teleport. You had to keep going through Focus Tower. Other than that, it was a good scene. I'm looking forward to next round.
Alrighty. Yeah. So, whatchamacallit? Giga, that's your name.
Yep.
You got any final thoughts on this race?
Other than comments about Magus' skill, which I believe would be unwarranted. No.
Yeah, nah, he's done admirably with kind of, like Linkalot said, this very convoluted sea, and kind of, getting a grip on where he can still go, because that is the tricky thing with this randomizer, is knowing where you can and can't go. Yeah, I know you're kidding. He's done fairly well with sort of still learning the randomizer. But all that being said, we're going to go ahead, like I said, and close out here. If you want to continue watching Magius get through this, you can find him over on Magius1 here on Twitch. And that's just the digit 1. But I think we're going to go ahead and call it a broadcast and head on out. So thank you very much to everyone for watching. And if you want to find out when the next races are booked for, the best way to find out is to go to ffmqrando.net, check out our Discord, and come see, because basically every race is going to be talked about in there, and that's probably the best way to find out when people are doing things. So, all of that being said, thank you for watching. I've been Woat, that's been Giga, and Linkalot's over in that corner somewhere.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.